Hello, welcome to Weatherwise. I am meteorologist Nathan Scott, and today's episode, we are not discussing anything that has to do with weather necessarily. We're flipping the script and headed to geology because there's something really unique about the natural state here in Arkansas where there's a place you can find diamonds. And joining me right now is the superintendent of the Crater of Diamonds, Wayman Cox. Wayman, thank you for joining me here on Weatherwise. This is such a fascinating thing about Arkansas, but let's talk about why in the world is there a place in Arkansas that we can actually mine for diamonds?
Well, thank you for having me, Nathan. We have diamonds in Arkansas because we have the specific geological circumstances that produce diamonds and then brought them to the surface. Diamonds formed about 100 to 120 miles below the surface of the earth in a special combination of heat and pressure. After they formed, they sat down there, and we wouldn't be able to find them on the surface unless they had an elevator to bring them up. And so that elevator came in the form of a volcano that erupted here in southwest Arkansas, bringing diamonds along with it.
This happened millions and millions of years ago.
Yes. About 100 million years.
It is very unique, not only just to Arkansas, but you really can find diamonds here in the United States, with the exception of a few places. And even the world, diamonds are typically found in Africa, correct?
Diamonds are found on other continents. Most of them are commercial mines, so they're high fences and guard security, that sort of thing. But we do have them here. This is a special place because this is where they actually came to the surface. Like you said, there are other places in America where you can find them here and there, but most of those are from glacial deposits or from rivers and streams where they washed out.
I was looking at the website, and it said over 35,000 diamonds have been found in that area, which just is mind-blowing. Talk about how that all came to be, because this did not used to be a state park. It used to be just property. They did try to do commercial mining, but it was a failure.
Right. Well, the crater's history, what we like to go back to, is the 1880s. At that point, there was a geologist, John Brenner, that came here before diamonds were ever found because of the color of the soil. It was an unusual color. It was green. And this was just shortly after the diamonds had been found in Kimberley, South Africa. And there they had found diamonds inside of a volcano for the first time. So they realized that was a likely source of source of diamonds was a volcano. And so whenever they found a similar type of soil here in Arkansas, the geologists kind of took a special interest in it and started examining it. But it wasn't until 1906 that the first diamonds were found by local farmer John Huddleston. He owned about half of what today we call the Diamond Search area, and it was just a farm. He raised hogs on his farm, and stories vary about how he found the first diamonds. People say that he was out feeding his hogs one day when he saw these gold flakes on top of the ground. Like many farmers in that time, he was a prospector, and so he had a gold pan. He took the soil, scooped it up into his gold pan, and took it to a nearby creek where he washed it out. The gold little flakes that were in the soil floated away, and of course diamonds are going to be heavy, or gold's going to be heavy as well, so he knew it wasn't diamonds or gold. But once he washed the dirt out, he did find a crystal in the bottom of his pan, and he said shone like fire every which way he turned it. And so he was pretty sure at that time, because he had talked to the geologist and understood what this place had potential to have. At that time, he was pretty sure he had a diamond. And so he saddled his mule and rode into Murfreesboro, and just down the road, it was said that he picked up another similar-looking crystal out of the dust and took him to a local bank where they mailed him to a Little Rock jeweler who said they were diamonds.
Just a fascinating story to think that a farmer was just doing his regular day and found diamonds here in the natural state. And when you think about a mine, a lot of people go to different gold mines around the country, sapphire mines in North Carolina, where it's pretty much the miners are going into a cave or something like that. But behind you, that is the mining field. It's just a field. It's just a dirt field. How do people react to seeing when they come to the crater of diamonds and say, this is it?
Well, that's, most people describe it as sort of a potato field. That when it was commercially mined, after Huddleston sold his land, it was much easier and much cheaper to mine the surface for diamonds than it was to dig a shaft. Now, they did try that. They dug a 60-foot shaft to test and see how many diamonds they could find underground, but they found about as many as they could find on the surface, and it was a lot harder work. So, of course, to save money and be safer as well, they pretty much surface mined the whole time.
It's a large field. It's what, 35 acres, I believe?
37 and a half.
37
acres.
and a half. Okay, so yeah, if you go there as a visitor, let's talk about what a visitor can expect for the day. Can you go there for 30 minutes and find a diamond, or are you more likely to spend hours there? I know some people just camp out there and spend weeks looking for diamonds.
Absolutely. People from all walks of life come out here and look for diamonds and have success. There have been folks here before that have been out here for 10 minutes and picked up a diamond off of the surface. And then we have people that have been here for 20 years, not necessarily every day, but coming once a year for 20 years that haven't found anything. And we do have people that will come out here regularly that do find quite a few diamonds, smaller ones, most of them are, but it just varies. I mean, you can find a diamond 5 feet off of the sidewalk after you walk out there, or you can go out like Michelle Fox did back in July and spend weeks searching and finally find one after 3 weeks of looking for diamonds, find one on top of the ground. So it just varies. It's completely random pretty well.
And you said that most diamonds that are found are pretty small, but there have been some big ones. People gotten lucky in the past. Talk about maybe the 3 largest diamonds that have been found in that location.
Yeah, the largest diamond was found here before it was a state park. The largest in North America, I believe, was 40.23 carats. It was called the Uncle Sam. It was found here in 1924. So at that time, it was commercially mined, and the gentleman that found it was on the front of basically a high-pressure hose. They used to hydro-sluice the soil, and they would watch for flashes in the dirt. They knew when a diamond would pop up, and it was said that in August of 24 he was on the front of the hose. His name was Wesley Basham, but his nickname was Uncle Sam. And so he actually saw the flash come up out of the dirt and told the guys that were sifting through the gravel, said, "Y'all watch out, a big one's coming." And so they picked it out, and it was over 40 carats. It was cut down to 12.5 carat emerald shape. And what's interesting about that is that a few years ago, Dr. Peter Buck, one of the co-founders of Subway Restaurants, actually bought that diamond and donated to the Smithsonian Institute. So it's actually on display in the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. for folks. The largest diamond found since we've been a state park was over 16 carats. It was found in 1975 by W.W. Johnson. He was a gentleman from Amarillo, Texas. He had come here with his family and was sitting under a tree shade in August of 1975, about 30 feet away from where this diamond was sitting on top of the ground. And he told one of his kids to go over and pick it up and bring it to him, and took it up to the visitor center, and turned out to be over a 16 carat diamond. They found right on the surface.
Wow.
And he had it cut down into a little marquee shaped diamond several years later. The largest diamond that's been found since I've worked here was over 9 carats. I believe it's the second or third largest overall. The Kennard Friendship Diamond, 9.04 carat, that was found here on Labor Day of 2020. And a gentleman from Maumelle, Arkansas found that, Kevin Kennard. He actually had it cut earlier this year and brought it to the park back in June for a public display. Very beautiful brown diamond.
Finally, somebody from Arkansas, not just all these out-of-state people. Put in perspective, a 40-carat diamond. I mean, is that like the size of a large rock? I know it's measured by carats, but do you have an idea of how big that was?
It depends on the shape of the gem as far as that goes. The Uncle Sam was said to be about the size of a gumball. So, about like that, about the size of a gumball. Whenever you see it cut, 12 and a half carats, of course, your imagination thinks, oh, wow, that must be a huge diamond. And it is big, but it's quite a bit smaller than, again, what the original diamond was.
Sure.
Just because of the shape and what they had to cut it into.
Yeah, because a regular engagement ring is usually around 1 carat.
Right.
So you go to a local jewelry store, you can certainly get an idea of how big that is. 1 carat versus 12 carats is a huge difference, not only just the size, but also how much it's worth.
Absolutely. Once it gets above that 1 carat threshold or 5 carats or whatever, the value goes up quite a bit.
We always hear that it's people out of state that find the diamonds. Do you have statistics to say, is that a myth or is that true?
That's generally true because there's 49 other states besides Arkansas and plus other countries that, people come from around the world. Of course, a couple of years ago, we had a gentleman from Paris, France, find a large diamond. And so, people from other states usually find about 33% more diamonds than Arkansans do. But again, that's just because there's so many more states than outside of here than there are in here.
Do a lot of Arkansans know about this place? Do they care? I have not been there myself just yet. And I love geology. I just haven't had the time to come out there, but I certainly plan on doing it in the future because my wife is like, hey, I want to find a diamond for a nice ring or something like that. We'll see what happens. But talk about like what can a person expect when they come to the field on an average day? Do I need to bring anything? Do I need to dress a certain way? The seasons, that makes a difference?
Absolutely. You do need to pay attention to the weather forecast for around the time when you're coming. A lot of people, depending on how flexible your plans are, you can come, shortly after a good rain on a good sunny day. That's when a lot of people find our diamonds on top of the ground because the water's had a chance to work and wash through the field. But definitely dressing for the weather. Wear muck boots or wear shoes that you don't mind losing if it's especially muddy. Bring a change of clothes maybe. This time of year we're kind of going into cooler weather. It's a good idea to dress in layers that you can peel off as it warms up during the day. And in the winter when it gets really cold, wear gloves if you plan to use water for wet sifting, things like that. As far as tools go, you can use anything from your eyes all the way up to buckets, shovels, screens, things like that. People bring their own from home, and we do rent here at the park. Just depends on how much work you want to put into it, how much time you spend here, and again, how hard you want to work to find that diamond.
Is there anything I'm not allowed to bring?
We don't allow motorized equipment, so jackhammers. We don't allow dynamite, obviously. Motorized battery-operated equipment or ladders. Ladders just because for safety's sake, we don't want people digging deep, narrow holes to find diamonds in. So
now it's open field. You're out in full sun, so probably you want to bring the sunblock as well. But
absolutely, yeah.
Do you really see people out there when it's like 32 degrees, they're still mining in that type of conditions with a wind chill of 20 degrees?
Yeah, we have some people that are pretty serious about it. We've had guys before come out here with 12 inches of snow on the ground and say though they've worked on glaciers before and it doesn't bother them to come out and search for diamonds, literally breaking ice this thick off of the surface of our wash tanks to wet sift, and they'll be out there with thick gloves on and again water freezing on their fingers as soon as they pull it out of the water, but they're out there searching. Not very many.
That's being a diehard. Now, have you ever gone out and done your own searching and found anything of value?
I found 3 diamonds. I found one my very first year on my day off. Went out and searched and found a little 7-point diamond, and I found a couple others just random times between then and now. Just I think it's been probably 10 years since my last diamond that I found. So.
And what have you done with those?
They're in the boxes that I got whenever I registered them. So they're just in my drawer at home. I've got them for my kids.
And when somebody finds a diamond, is that what they typically do? How do you know? Because a lot of people get confused with a diamond versus quartz, because Arkansas has a lot of quartz. We have huge quartz, Mount Ida and into west central Arkansas, I guess for the same reason, because of the Ouachitals and the geologic formation millions and millions of years ago.
Right, a little different formation, of course, for quartz than diamonds, but like you said, the Ouachita Mountains have more quartz. Arkansas has more quartz than any other state.
Bless you.
For one thing, most diamonds are going to be much smaller than quartz. Even some of the little nice finger-sized points that you find, average diamond's going to be about the size of a match head, or a little under 1/4 of a carat. The most distinct feature of them is going to be the shine. We've had people come here time after time who found diamonds after spending a day picking up quartz crystals, and they'll keep them in their little bag, and when they find a diamond, they'll dump the quartz out, and they'll say, okay, that's totally different, because it's just a different shine. It's more metallic luster. It's rounded. It's a clean crystal. Diamonds won't stick to anything because they have no natural static charge to them. So they're just clean, beautiful, shiny crystals.
When you say it's the size of a match head, you're looking for something like that within a whole slew of other rocks. So you really have to have eagle eyes, and it's almost like looking for a needle in a haystack, it sounds like.
It can be. A lot of people will take their gravel home with them. The park allows paid guests to take up to 5 gallons per person. And that's quite a bit of gravel. You wash through 5 gallons of dirt, and you get maybe a half a gallon of gravel out of it. So there's a lot of soil that will wash out of that. We don't let people take just dirt out of the field so that we don't dig a progressively deeper pit any faster than we have to. But we do let them take the gravel home if they go out and do the work. Other wash pavilions like this one over my shoulder, you can go out and sift, either wet sifting, or if the soil's dry enough, you can dry sift the dirt out, get it down to that gravel base, and then put that in your bucket to take home with you. And about half of the diamonds we register at the park are found by people who've taken it home.
Now, when you say the sifting process, can you go more into detail with that? Is that like with straining, with like something you would do with cooking with pasta or cheesecloth, that type of situation?
Yeah, we do have people that bring colanders out, and in fact, there was one found just a few weeks ago that they used, just sand tools, basically, like from the dollar store. But what like the park recommends are 2 different sifting methods: dry sifting, which is just using a fine screen mesh, and then actually wet sifting. We have these screens like this, and so it's got 2 different sizes of mesh. This is a fine mesh screen. It's a 1/16 inch, 1/16 inch, and then the top screen is a 1/4 inch. So a much larger screen, but they stack on top of one another. And when you use those together in the water, it helps to sift everything down by size. It takes your larger stuff out, because if there's a diamond in that big screen, you're going to see it a lot easier. You're not going to have to do a whole lot of work as far as sorting through the gravel. It's going to be shiny. It's going to be large enough to stick within that 1/4 inch mesh. The smaller screen is going to hold on to the majority of diamonds. Most of them are going to be, again, that match head size, so they're going to go through the top screen and can end up in that bottom screen. But so is a lot of other stuff. So what you have to do with that is sift the gravel and sort it by weight. And so we use a process that we teach in our demonstrations. We have videos here at the park and on our website to show how to sort it by weight, by concentrating the heavier gravel to the center and then sending it to the bottom of the screen, so that when you flip it over after a couple of minutes, the heavier gravel and hopefully that diamond is on the top center of your pile, so that you can see it and scoop it up, take it with you.
It sounds physically demanding, and also sounds like a little bit of an art form that people have to get used to.
Definitely. There's a lot of a technique to it. You can go out and surface search, and as long as you know what the diamond looks like that you're looking for, you can find one like that. Or even if you don't know, you just see something that looks so different, so much shinier than whatever else you've seen, that you're more likely to pick it up. Because cut diamonds are shiny, so surely a rough diamond will look shiny too. But certainly wet sifting is the most complex method, but is also the most successful. It turns up about 2/3 of our diamonds.
So when people come to the park and they're expecting, okay, do I look at just the soil? That's one option, or you can do the whole sifting method with the gravel. Is one method better than the other, and why?
Depending on your own personal preference, how long you have to spend here. If you're only going to be here for an hour, I would recommend going out and just surface searching, or possibly dry sifting. Dry sifting is easy to do if the dirt's dry enough. If it rains out here, that soil, it's gumbo clay, and it soaks that water up, and it takes a while to dry out. So if it's rained within 5 or 6 days before you get here, it's probably going to be too wet to dry sift. Unless we've had a lot of just bright sunny days to dry that dirt out. But you can do those two pretty easily. If you have a couple of hours or more, or you're going to be here especially for a couple of days or more, go out and wet sift. Learn the technique. We have people that will come here and again spend every weekend, or they'll spend several days a year out here, and they'll wet sift because you can go through a lot of dirt in less time. You can take your gravel home, and then that way when you're at home between times, you can look through it for that diamond to bring back on your next visit.
Several months ago, I went to Murfreesboro because I'd never been there. I like to get out and explore different communities that are in our viewing area. And Murfreesboro, you can really tell it's all about history. It's all about the diamonds that have been found. And I was talking to the locals, and they said there was one person that he's a legend, and he was just known to come every day to the mine, and he has found a lot of diamonds, and I think his family's still there. Do you have any information on that particular person?
Sure. He was from Nashville, and he did live in Murfreesboro for a time as well, but he came out here for years, starting I think in the 70s, maybe even before. He would come out and search for diamonds just about every day, every opportunity he had. And unless he was sick or what have you, he was here just about every day searching, and found lots of diamonds.
So people can actually make a living off of this if they really want to dedicate their life going out there every single day. You live in the local area, you have probably the best possibility of finding not just one diamond, but several diamonds.
Absolutely. And like I said, he was a legend. He helped a lot of people. There are folks whenever I started. He passed away in 2003, I believe, and a year before I started. But for years after I started working here, there were people that came, and even today remember James Archer, working with him or knowing him and just meeting him when they were here. So it was said that he put his kids through college with his diamonds that he found. I believe he traded one for a truck vehicle at some point. So you can do a lot of things depending on how hard you work at it, because he definitely worked hard for it.
Well, Wayman, it sounds like I need to get out there. And I probably should get out there probably the fall or the spring, because I'm not going to be out there wintertime doing it. Got to wait for a really heavy rainfall event, it seems like. So when you have flooding rains in the forecast, if we're saying, hey, 8 to 10 inches of rain for southwest Arkansas because a tropical system moves through, that's probably one of the best times to go out there?
Statistically, the most chance you're going to have is within 2 to 3 days after. When it's out here, it's still cloudy, everything's wet, it's hard to tell anything. You're going to have enough trouble walking trying to get through the mud. But let it dry out for a couple of days. If you have a bright, sunshiny day after one of those 8 to 10 inch rains, then your chances go way up finding a diamond. Now, and within that first week after rain is your best opportunity to find it on the surface.
Is there a chance that the crater will ever run out of diamonds?
Well, unless the volcano erupts again, yes. It hasn't erupted in a long, long time, and I hope it doesn't in any of our lifetimes. But at some point, yeah, it's a finite resource. Again, we'll run out, and that's part of what we're here as a state park to do, is to kind of not is to properly maintain it, is to be good stewards of it, to make sure that people aren't destroying the resource, and just maintaining it as long as we can to help people have the best opportunity to find something.
And when you say maintain, you are going through and tilling the fields. Is that also a good time after you till the fields to go out there?
Well, again, I tell people, when you plow the field, it kind of mixes everything up. So you want to ideally, and what we try to do when we plow is we try to do that shortly before rain is in the forecast, so that they plow it, and then a day or two later it's raining, and that helps to sort the soil. It washes down the lighter material, the smaller diamonds, into the valleys and the washouts, and it leaves the larger stuff on the surface. So not necessarily while they're out there plowing, but again, if you see rain in the forecast and we know we've recently plowed, that's prime time for finding them.
Is the field entirely flat, or are there areas where somebody should search? Do you have any little secrets for us?
As far as digging, you want to kind of dig in the lower areas. There are drains, we call them, on the east and west sides of the search area. There's also on the north and south ends drains, basically large trenches. Years ago, the park managers decided that, while there's not necessarily a lot of land outside of what you see in the diamond search area that is diamond bearing, because again, this is where the volcano erupted, so this is the type of soil known to contain diamonds. There's not a lot outside of what's in the plowed field that's diamond bearing, but there is more possibility of finding it deeper. And so not everybody can come out here and dig an 8-10 foot hole. And so what they decided to do is create these trenches through the field. And so the east, west, north, and south drains, as they're called, were dug for that purpose. So that basically exposes more material at depth. They took the dirt that they dug out of those trenches and spread it over other parts of the field, and so that just took all the material from that deep underground and put it near the surface. And then from that point, when it would rain, the water would naturally flow down through those trenches and carry smaller diamonds that are light enough to get picked up by the water as it ran, and it would leave those heavier diamonds and other smaller, heavier materials in the lower parts of the field. And so it creates another good area for people to search in. So we have a lot of people that will, look for the east and west drains and go out and search and, dig in them specifically, because that's where more of your heavy gravel is.
Fantastic tip. I'm going to have to remember that when I come down there in the future. And it's not just diamonds that can be found in this area. Amethyst, garnet, jasper. So anybody that loves minerals can actually find some good stuff there, it seems like.
Absolutely. This one, this example of amethyst is very pale. It's not dark purple like what you see a lot of times like jewelry. But this is a piece of amethyst from the field. We've had, in the last couple of days, we had some folks find some really nice amethyst. Unlike diamonds, amethyst runs in veins. You can actually find a lot of it in one area. And so that's what they've done, is they've, one area where a lot of it's found is Canary Hill, which is in the southeast part of the search area. The soil's green, but again, if you dig in the right spot, you can find those veins of amethyst that run through there. Another one of my favorites is agate. Banded agate is made of quartz layered. This is one I found several years ago that's got quartz all over the top of it. Then this is another one. Our agate's called bacon agate. And so this is what it looks like on the outside. It's kind of flat naturally, and it's got these layers that you can kind of see. But when you cut it, you can kind of see it looks almost like a slab of raw bacon. These can be tumble polished. They can be sliced, turned into jewelry, bookend, whatever you want. But those are a couple of my favorites that are found out here. It's agates and, again, amethyst, things of that nature.
Well, thank you for showing us those examples. That was really cool to see. I guess we can wrap things up here. Anything else to say? And if somebody wants to look for more information on the Crater of Diamonds, where can they go?
They can go to the Arkansas State Park's website and search for Crater of Diamonds State Park. And you can learn more about us there. You can book campsites. You can call the park at any time to reserve campsites or to ask questions. And again, come out and see us. We're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Search area closes at 4.
All right, Wayman, thank you so much for joining me here on Weatherwise and taking time out of your busy day to be on here with me. If you have any other ideas for Weatherwise, I want to hear from you. Just send your ideas to my email, nscott@thv11.com, or you can also send them to me on my Facebook page. That's it for this episode of Weatherwise. Next week, we've got a new episode. I'll see you then.